I was walking home from this one street. It's Portland Street. I used to walk it every day when I was living at my old apartment. And, I'd walk it back from bartending gigs, from the grocery store, like always just walk up and down this. And I just been walking back for whatever reason. And I remember I was like texting my friends and I was refreshing I was very addicted to refreshing my subscriber feed at that time because it was just cool that every time I refreshed it was higher. So I was just like nonstop.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to see that? Oh. You're cutting out.
I was walking and I literally like lost all sense. Oh, are we good?
Yeah. You said, good? You're good. So you said you were walking.
Yeah. And then like suddenly like I saw that number and I just like lost all control of my body and just like heaved and like just bent over, like couldn't control it. And the only way to describe it is if think someone had like a 300-pound backpack on your back and you've been walking 10 miles on it and someone just took it off and gave you like the most magical tasting food and water and all that. It was just like so much like hard work and just like relief. Like it was just that feeling you've been chasing, like just like a grip that was on me, being like, are you sure that's it? But like keep going and pushing and some things pulling you back and things pulling you back and things pulling you back. But you have to let off. That's just like all that hard work is paying off in this moment. It just kind of just knew. I could sense it, and like everything in our life made sense. Like it was all for this moment. Like every obstacle, like I was in my 20s, so obviously you go through a lot of hard times and all that. But it was just like, oh, that was worth it. All of it, every single thing. It was just like for that moment, and it was just like the most satisfying feeling in the entire world.
Yeah, that's just so cool. That's just so cool. I mean, I love your story. I love that. Because I think it's the fact that you've been working at it for so hard and for so long and so hard. Mm-hmm. So, okay, so you followed that Tom Brady video up with more videos and more videos. And so you said like that next 6 months was also one of the hardest for you. So what happened during that 6 months?
So, and the hard part was just like unknown in the sense of like just so new world because like suddenly like people were watching and like so it was just like pressure of like you have to create good content, you have to make sure your message is good, like young girls are there, you have this message you want to give to them, like take advantage of it, spread it. Like management companies were coming at me and be like, oh, this percent, like we'll help you, and then like you hear these horror stories of them coming, and then suddenly like it was my first time taking sponsorships and I was nervous that like I didn't want to be greedy and like I wanted to make content but I have to pay the bills and like so it was like. And then it was that there was about 3 or 4 months where I was slowly starting to get the money from YouTube, but I hadn't get it because obviously delayed and payments and all this. And I was bartending, so I was sleeping 2 to 4 hours a night. I was making videos about health and wellness, so working out, 3 to 5 hours a day to go home and edit for 6 hours. And like, so it was like to this day, like I don't physically know how I did it, but I do, because it was just that I knew I had to chase it. And then like, it was just like the most, I probably was working 80 to 100 hours a week. And like, there was nothing about my life that wasn't dedicated towards that, just the amount of editing. And it was like snowing and I didn't have a car. Like, I mean, like I'm trenching across town an hour to like do a workout class, film it, to come back, edit into the wee hours, and to go bartend, sleep an hour or two. And like, it was just like, that, and at the same time having all these companies reach out, and like there was one point, like this just came up, that I had 4 sponsorship videos, like that was my livelihood. I'd done the sponsorship and I was so overworked, is like I hadn't followed up with a single payment because I didn't have time. So I mean, like these companies owed me thousands of dollars in the next video schedule writing this, that like I couldn't even go back, and I needed that money to like pay. Like there was at one point I remember, like I was donating money to the homeless and making food for them, and that when I was like, I don't even know where the money's coming from me. Like it was like such like, but I was like, it doesn't matter, YouTube. And like, and then it was just like to the point of like creator burnout. It was just like so much on my plate. Like no one should have to like, because my videos take so long to make, just one video, let alone doing 2 a week, let alone the editing, just me, and then trying to run the management and just like all of that, and like, let alone like call your mom. Like,
take a shower.
So it was just like, and so it was just, but worth it. Like I said, it was like, no, that is not how you should live your life. But I think I had a bit of a sight that I knew, like I could sense it coming.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. And then I feel it was around like end of March. I was going home to visit my mom and brother for my best friend's birthday. And it like stars align again, once again. And that when I was in Edmonton, I was with my brother when I hit like 100,000. But I kind of like, I always knew, I was like, hey, around the 100,000 mark, if you can hit it in a few months, like you can fully dive into it, like cut out everything else and just like save up money. That's what I was saying. Like I was putting away money doing that so you could take that leap. And so I decided to take that leap and dive like full in.
So when you reach 100,000 is when you quit your bartending job and
so like everything else. And like people sound so crazy, be like, no, I'm just going to full-time YouTube. But you know, the money's there and I had a safety net. I was smart about it. See that. And it was one of those things I told myself, I'm like, hey, you can go work this many hours at a job, or you can produce another video in that time. And at this time I could justify, I was like, okay, that video, I can do this. And that's what I want to be doing. So yeah, it was a little scary. And then even like, that was the other scary thing is like hiring, you know, a manager and then assistant and things like that. Like, yeah, I'm not making as much money, but then I have more hours in a day and you make better. So it's like, it was very much like, I went from being like a bartender to like running my own production company in 6 months. Like, so
did you feel ready for it though?
I did. And like I said, like as soon as it was very like scary always, I'm like, but like, I think even like when I was like 22, I was reading entrepreneur books and business, like Gary Vee and like all that, like, so, which at the time I was like, why did I think I need to read all that? But all that, like even down to Tim Ferriss's like 4-hour work week, like all that stuff I'd read in, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, like I said, so I felt ready for it, even though it was scary and hard. Like,
yeah, that's amazing. That's just so cool. So at this point, do you still do your own editing?
So I just recently hired out an editor.
Oh, good
Gabby,
for you.
She's the most amazing person. It's very like collaborative. So we like sit there, like I very much organize all the files in the order and all that, send it to her. She crops it down into one file. And then like I put in all the edits I want. And then she actually goes.
Oh, so you do a lot. You still have a like, you're kind of like co-editor.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, I always found like there was so much more editing I wanted to do, but I would do the simple edits because I just didn't have the time. So still like several hours, like I'd say, you know, an hour or two of the week, I'm sitting down and be like, this is how I'd like it edited. She does it. And then luckily she's amazing. And like, well, every once in a while, like I always say, you can have very sarcastic humor. So I'm like, chirp me. I'm like, say something like that. And then we're slowly working, like I'm going to start like introducing her, but she's been my saving grace. Like, it's just one of those things. Like I'm so busy right now, but I'm like, how did I physically do it without you?
Yeah. How did you find her?
She was actually, I posted on, I needed an assistant. I even posted, but I had like a breakdown video at the beginning of June. I was like, I don't know who I need in my life, but I need someone. And so she originally hired on as an assistant. And then I knew she had a bunch of editing skills. And then I wanted to do, I planned a last minute trip to Europe this summer. And I was like, hey, let's play around. Like, you edit a video, I'll hire you for like the one. I really liked it. And then I was like looking at my budget. I was like, you can afford a few more. And then it's just been a lot of collaborative. I'm like, eventually I was like, no, I want you to do them all. And so it's just been a lot of back and forth and just like learning together. And like I said, I'm viewing it more now of like building my own TV show, my own TV network, like producing. That's how I'm trying to think of it.
Yeah, and you should.
And even like down to like, we're starting a second channel is my like next plan, where we're like in the works for that. But like, that's how I'm trying to view it and like grow her in that and the management team and all that.
What's the second channel going to be about?
It's like a comedy cooking one.
Oh,
so
okay.
It was a little skit I had in my videos. It was me cooking because I can't really cook. So it's going to be 20-year-olds learning to cook together. So yes, so that's coming.
That's
so
kind of
fun. Yeah, so just kind of, it's just like I've always wanted to have a cooking show, even though I'm not a chef, but that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
And so just kind of like, it's just a little passion project. I don't know if it'll catch on, but it's just like I've always wanted to make those videos for fun. And so even if it's just me being a little dickhead on the internet, I'm just
you're having fun with it. That's amazing. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how, because at this point, like a lot of your videos, let's go back to like your really popular videos. A lot of your videos, where is it? Recently, and we saw it a little bit ago, been doing really well. So you went like kind of completely changing your niche in a way, to just kind of this new, like, I tried this. I mean, this one obviously 3.4 million, but this one
Yeah.
almost 100,000. So how do you at this point pick video topics? Like, take me through kind of your process of like first conceptualizing like an idea. Do you do research on it? Do you veto it sometimes and say, I'm not going to do it? Like, what's your process?
So this is like, if I have a skill in life, it's this.
Okay.
If I have like one form, like I've always been a very creative person. I was never good at drawing. I was never a musician. I was never all that, but I always knew I was creative. And I've truly found my creative outlet is like coming up with video ideas and that. And I feel I always had these ideas to do these videos. I remember I talk and people would be like, okay, Kelt.
Yeah.
And like, it was very much like maybe I was not surrounded by people and they would be like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. And because I was so small, I feel I had those ideas, but they didn't catch on for whatever reason. I wasn't ready for it. Who knows, the algorithm things I tested, it didn't do well, but I just like, I've always had that kind of hunch of like, and I did so much research down to, like I come from a marketing background and then, studying BuzzFeed, and I spend a lot of time, like I watch every big YouTuber down to like, the ones I love, the David Dobrik's to like down, I'll go and sit through a lot of Jake Paul videos. And I know it sounds funny, but I was like, he's mastered the algorithm, he's mastered like creativity, like all that. And I'm like, what can I do? And then how can I use whatever they're doing in my own message, my own YouTube, and like that like spin. So like even right now, we use an Asana. It's like just a
project management.
Workflow. Yeah. I have probably this is going to sound like pure insanity. I have till July 24th, 2020 videos planned, 2 a day, 2 a week. So like there's like I plan, like I go way ahead and like I have a big series and like I spend the time. I go at the beginning of the month and like what movies are coming out, what sporting events are coming out, what holidays are coming. What kind of video would I have fun doing? What would you kind of learn from your subscribers. They talk a lot. So if there's a lot of ideas that keep coming, I take that, but I always try and like one up it. Like I always say, I want to have a clickbait title, but when people click on it, it's like, oh no, she actually did that. But like, and like that kind of mentality. But I think it's just you have to spend a lot of time on the creative process. And I feel more than anyone realized, like I probably I don't even want to know how many, every day, minimum 1 to 2 hours, because I'm just coming up with ideas, writing about them, planning it, scripting, scheduling them out in the month. And like, that was why having an assistant was the nicest thing. Cause I'm not naturally organized, even though I have all those ideas. Yeah, so I felt that it was very crippling that I'd have these lists of all these videos, but didn't know when. And so she put everything in Asana, and now I'm like a bit better at I'm like, oh, I can click and drag in that. But I'd say honestly, for me, it's, especially when I work out, I just come up with a video idea and then I put it somewhere and we brainstorm it, and then I reverse, like, it will do the best around here. How can I wow people? Like, what will be the clickbait? Like, when would it be trending? Or every once in a while, there'll be things that happen, like the Area 51 or something. I'm like, no, this is coming out next week. We're just going to do it. And you just got to jump on it. So as much as like you can plan, like, I don't want to give away yet, but I have like a massive 3-month series coming out, and it's going to start in end of May. And it's going to be
end of May 2020.
Yeah. So and like once it comes out, everyone, I'm like, I just don't want. Okay, I won't be the only one with this idea, so I can't even say it. But like, I just have this. Yeah, like I think you just got to plan ahead and that's the only way to describe it.
So you said you spend like on average 1 to 2 hours a day researching, conceptualizing your video topics a day.
Oh yeah, I'd say. And like to the part that like I've learned that's just how my mind works. And I know I'm not good at like, I can't do the like take Saturday, Sunday off and all this because my mind's just like always on the go. Going. So I found the best thing for me is like this summer was a big lesson is like I went 1 week with my girlfriends back in Edmonton, and like I don't bring my camera. I'm not very active on social media actually, shockingly. I just don't have the time as much as I should do Instagram more. And like just completely took off my to-do list, block it away, like. And then I went to Europe twice, and like it was the same kind of idea. Like I just can't even have my phone in the room, and then just I have to be really focused on like the now. And when I do that, that's how I can like. But I have to be like in the now. Like I can't just like step away for an hour a day. I just found, work really hard for a couple weeks, and then just go completely zen out. And I find that's the only way I can just like stop my mind from working, if anything.
That's funny. I feel like so much of my personality is so similar to yours. Like everything you're saying, I'm like, yes, I'm like exactly the same way. I just like, I relate a lot to what you're saying. And I agree. the conceptualization and planning out like the content is so important. And it's like, I feel like a lot of people kind of like, okay, I came up with an idea. Okay, now I did it or whatever. But it's like the people that I've talked to, that I'm friends with or that I've interviewed, the ones I find are the most successful are the ones that take that process, that idea of that planning videos, like really seriously. Like they spend like considerable time just Googling things, looking things up, being aware of what's relevant, what's trending, this and all that. And it sounds like you kind of fit right into that.
Yeah, and I feel that's like, especially YouTube and like clickbait culture, as much as like the sad truth is like that's what sells is the like thumbnail and the trending and all that. And like at the end of the day, I've seen it to like the frustration, how many times I've seen a clickbait title, a really good thumbnail, an absolute awful video. And like this person put no work into the video, but they put it into thumbnail and trending. So I was like, I feel that's the trick. And that's how you do it, is like you put all that work into that and then have a great video that hooks them.
You have to have the great video though.
Yeah. And then like otherwise people would be pissed. But like I feel like that's the trick, and you got to spend it. Otherwise, you can have this great video, but if no one saw it, like, and we've been doing it since the beginning of time, is human nature. Is newspaper ads did it. How many times I even go to the grocery store and spend a lot of times just like looking at those like not like the People magazine and like why are you drawn into that, and just like I spend a lot of time in human psychology, and I always say you can abuse that, and there's a lot of YouTubers and just media in general that abuse it, but like I've even done it in the opposite. Like I'll have a very clickbaity title that someone would click on, that it might be like negative, but I know it's a positive message. So I'm like, the people who like might need to hear it would only click on the clickbait title if it was like reversed. And you know what I mean? And like versus like people will click on their bias. So I've done like stuff like that, but I'm like, but if the ending message will help someone, I'm okay with that. And so I've been called out on that, but I'm like, no, I'm fine with that. I was like, if I'm helping someone, if I have to suck them in kind of like a sneaky way, I'm like, as long as the end message is okay. But like everyone said, movie trailers do it. How many times have we watched a movie trailer and we're like, this is going to be the best movie. And you watch it and you're like, oh, the trailer was literally the only cool thing.
Yeah, so the best part of the movie is what they showed in the preview.
Yeah, I was like, and that's just like the reality. And it's even worse now, especially on YouTube, when it's like, bam, bam. It's not just 10 movies a month. You're fighting with everyone. So if you're not, you got to put in the work there too. You can't just worry about content. And that's why probably burnout is so common. There's just so many factors now to actually... Gone are the days you can just do a haul video and it picks up. Like that's
yeah. I mean, some haul videos do.